In today's lecture, we're going to look at dates and how Google Sheets handles dates. At the outset, I just want to point out that I'll be working with dates in European format, that's day, month, year format. So my apologies to those of you watching in other locations, and I hope that this doesn't become too confusing for you if you're used to working with dates in month, day, year format. Google Sheets handles dates as a number, and you could change the way that a date or a number is displayed by changing the format of it. So if you look in cell A1, I have the number 1. If I change the format number and date, the number 1 changes to 31/12/1899, or similarly, if I reformat date as just a number, it reformats as the number 1. All this means is that from Google Sheets perspective, the first date was the 31/12/1899, and it increments each date by adding 1 to it. So the 1st of January 1900 is 2, 2nd January 1900 is 3, and so on. Just to point out that if you're working in Excel, the earliest date in Excel is the 1st of January 1900, not the 31st of the 12th, 1899. Let's have a look at examples of calculating period elapsed days between two dates. I have some calculations done here, and I will repeat them for demonstration purposes. So let's take two dates. 1st of 12th, 1952, and the 15th March 2014. So the first thing to do is, if we want to calculate the period of days between two dates, it's very straightforward. Take the smaller date away from the larger date. So equals date 2, B4 in this instance, minus A4. And I get a result of 22,384, and that just means that there are 22,384 days between these two dates. So if I want to express this in years, I just go equals the number of days divided by 365.25. So there are 365 days in a year. 0.25 is Google Sheets' way of catering for leap years. So between these two dates, there is just over 61 years, 0.284. So to express this figure as months, I just multiply the year figure by 12. So there are 735 months between these two dates. Now if I want to just get the whole months, so in other words, ignore the decimal places, I can use several functions. I can use trunc, or I can use int. So I'm going to use trunc for truncate, open bracket, this value, comma 0, which just means take this value and truncate it, or cut it down to 0 decimal places. Returns 735. So that's the number of whole months or complete months between these two dates here. So express it again as years. So take this figure here and divide it by 12. So there's 61.25 years, so that's 61 years and 3 months between these two dates. Now we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells to do this, but if you want, you can do it in a single cell. So equals first larger date minus smaller date, divide that by 365.25, multiply that by 12, give us the whole months, just check it is, yeah, and then we want to truncate that, so just wrap that in a trunc, open bracket, put a comma 0 at the end, close bracket, that's 735, and then finally 61.25. So all of this in a single formula as shown here. I now want to draw your attention to the difference between today and now. The today function will read today's date off your system and just return the date. So the day, the month, and the year. Now will
return much the same thing, but it will also return the current time. So it's returning today's date and the time almost 8:05 in the evening on the 26th of March. Now we'll look at the date function and how it can be used to manipulate dates. Here we have a date of birth, 7th of August 1950, and we want to calculate the 65th birthday of this. So we want to roll the year part forward by 65 years. Well, we do that by the date function. So let's have a look at date. And we use the date function, and the date function has three components. So it's equals date, open bracket, then the year part, open bracket. So then we tell the date function where the year part is, and it's in this cell here, close bracket. Then we want to increase the year element by 65 years, so we just go plus 65, then comma, month, open bracket. Then where is it going to read the month from? Well, the same cell again, but we're not doing anything to the month, so just comma, day, open bracket, refer to the cell holding the day value, and it's the same cell again, close bracket, and press return. And it returns a date of 7th of the 8th, 2015. So this person who was born in 1950 will have their 65th birthday next year. And all we did was we rolled year element of the date forward by 65, and we left the month unchanged and the day unchanged. But similarly, we can manipulate the month and the day parts also. So let's say I want to get the first day of the month following age 65. Well, it's a similar process again. So it's equals date, open bracket, year, open bracket, reference the cell, roll the year forward by 65, then comma the month, reference the cell holding the month, and then the day. But I'm going to put an absolute reference for the day, and I'm just going to put it to 2, close bracket, press return. Now this gives me the 1st of the August 2015, which is actually the 1st of the same month, so I need to roll the month forward, so I just add +1 to roll the month forward by 1. And there we have the first day of the month following age 65. So their 65th birthday is the 7th of August 2015. So their first day of the month following that is the 1st of September 2015. And similarly, if I want to get the last day of the month following 65, I just do something very similar. Date, year element, A4, plus 65, comma, month, is A4 plus 1, comma, day, 2, minus 1, close bracket, press return. And that gives me the 31st of August 2015. If you happen to be doing this calculation in Excel, the day and the month values are slightly different, that you wouldn't have to roll the month forward by 1, and the day value would be 1, and you take -1 off that. If you do it in Excel, hopefully it should make a little bit of sense. You'll be 1 day out using this calculation directly in Excel. We can also use the month, year, and day functions as a Boolean, as a true or a false. So here we have a set of dates, and we want to pick out the month, the year, or the day. So for example, if I want so this returns false because the month is the 11th. So if I fill down, so we've got this one is true because it's the 6th of September, and this one is true because it's the 22nd of September. It's true. All the other dates are false. Similarly, we can go equals year and reference a cell holding the year and look for any year greater than 2010. It's true, it's false because 2010 is not greater than 2010. And the rest are true. And similarly with the day, for the day, the cell here, and for any day less than or equal to 15th, so the middle of the month. So true, 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 and the rest are false. Finally, one last tip. If you receive a file and you bring it into Google Sheets, but dates are formatted in an unconventional way, such as 1980 and the 3rd of the 12th, so in American format, or a very strange format, we can bring this into a format that is usable by Google Sheets. So we need to use a text function, equals text, reference the number, then comma, then open quotes, and then put the format just go +0 to return it to a number again, and then just reformat this as a date. 12th of 3rd, 1980. Thank you for watching.